Hello, beautiful people. Today I would like to talk about contraction. So, as I'm working with a lot of people, a lot of my clients, they often will report to me that there is a lot of contraction in them. As we work together, they will even actually see more and more how much tension and contraction is stored in their body due to stress, due to so many things, the way how we live in today's society. It's almost impossible in a way to not have a tension and sort of contractions inside of us. And these contractions can be quite subtle, but sometimes they can be it's this chronic pain that we kind of are like used to, and now we ignore it. And it started maybe somewhere when we were 17 or 22, and it just become a part of our day. And of course we don't have to feel these tensions and inner contractions, and over time they can build up into something that isn't healthy, and it can really limit us in our everyday life. But what I want to talk about is this contraction. So it's a tension. And it's a part of natural law. The flower in the morning is closed, and then it opens with the sun, it expands, and then in the evening it comes back to itself. So it's the expansion and contraction that happens in nature, in the universe, in the cells of our body. So it's everywhere. It's the breath. Inhale, expand, exhale, come back into collapse, contraction, in and out, the duality of these two. But what happens with the contraction and the tension that we build in the time is that it's an energetic blockage. It's basically sometime in our life we had to contract, we couldn't, it was too much, we couldn't in that moment go into the full motion of let's say, in the cycle of, we see a tiger, we run away, the tiger's gone, then we shake it off, we scream the fear out, and then we move on like the animals do. So we kind of hold it in, and of course nowadays also we don't have tigers, so it's all kind of go in the human world through the mind. The mind also can create contraction. Sometimes it's not just physical, it's literally emotional. It's I am not expressing myself, therefore I like contract my throat, I contract my jaw, I clench my jaw. And so as we start to work with that and become aware of these contractions and this build up tension in our body, the key here is not to judge it, not to try to change it right away. It's almost like when I have a pain, my first thing is I want to like stretch it out. Let's say I have a spasm, and then I just want to stretch it out right away, and I want to like be kind of like a lot of us, we're a little bit aggressive to it, or we right away want to like massage it with the elbow, or go in it. But that's not really the way how to work with these inner contractions and this stored build-up tension, the energy that is trapped and can't move, because the energy's natural state is movement, is moving. Nothing stays same, right? Everything is changing all the time. So even within this ball, that like this contraction, there is changes happening, but it's a bit encapsulated, and so that's why it's like it's not complete. The cycle is not complete, so the cycle will come back and knock on the door. Hey, I'm still here, but it's not all the time. But it might come back more often and more often until we really need to face it. And so my point here is, how do we work with this kind of inner contraction? And now I want to bring it more into the physical, the body, to explain it. So for me, it's beautiful to sort of imagine that where you have the contraction, first is to become aware, to acknowledge that there is a contraction, because our first tendency is to ignore it, to not take care of it, to push it away, So to not acknowledge it. That's the first thing. So we need to become aware. Then once we become aware, not judge it. Not judge it, not wanting to get rid of it, not wanting to change it right away, not wanting to fix anything. So then it's about accepting it as it is, seeing it for what it is there, and looking at it with kindness, with compassion to its existence, because it's there to tell us something. There is a message. And then as we work with it, then it's all about kind of going in it. So before we are able to move out of it, it's almost like I want to explain it in the motion, which would be, if there is a contraction, I want to go in it, and I want to go a little bit more into the contraction. It's almost like I want to really acknowledge it, really be with it. That means I'm with it for a little bit longer than I would usually be. And I really can actually, if it's a physical muscle sensations, I can go in it and go a little bit, allow myself to go feel it a little bit more, maybe contract a little bit more. And then as I contract a little bit more, there is gonna be that suddenly that expansion, that like, oh wow, okay, the energy is a bit more compressed, and so it brings a little bit more suddenly opening. It's almost like in some massage techniques, they will stop the blood flow by pushing the artery for just a little bit. So it's like I go a little bit more into the congestion, because usually there is a congestion happening in the muscle tissue. And then I release the blood flow, and that brings a flush. It flushes out the system. And then it rebalances itself. So this idea of going more into it is super important, and I think that's the message that I wanted to share with you today. So first, becoming aware. Second, not judge it and accepting it as it is. And then third, go in it. Go really in it, sit with it, feel it, and maybe going into it a little bit more than I would usually go, or that I would want to go, but still within the safety of feeling safe to go in it. If we need somebody to be, now I'm talking more about trauma, but if it's physical, then it's fine with the breath. And then see that small change that happens afterwards. And then becoming aware that I'm not here, the last thing I would say is becoming aware that I'm not here to fix anything. These 3 steps that I just described, they will change it naturally. It just will bring changes, and it will come back to its natural flow, because that's the law, the harmony, the balance will restore itself. The body is very wise, and its natural state is homeostasis, which is being in a harmony. So that's the message for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, write me a comment, and I love you guys.